welcome back to the Easy Chairs. I've got two Pro Tour champions with me here. I have Shaun McLaren and I've got Stanislav Cifka. Welcome, guys, to the Easy Chairs. I see you're doing it correctly, just sort of laying. There you go. That's how you do it. And I wanted to talk limited with you guys. Both of you 6-0 in the draft portion here at the Pro Tour. So congratulations on that, first off. That's fantastic. There's so many good players here. It's got to feel great to get 6-0 versus this kind of class. But I wanted to get into sort of the ins and outs of what you guys think about the format and what you thought about coming in. So I'll start with you, Stan. What was sort of your big picture view on the format coming in as far as how many colors you should be playing? Were you on 2, 3, 5? What did you like?
Oh, when I started the draft, I thought multicolor cards are so powerful that you should be drafting all these good cards, picking lands highly and being 5-color decks. But when the drafts came, I felt these decks are too slow. Like if someone's playing 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, you're not gonna have time to resolve all your bombs. So after like 20 drafts we managed that the aggro decks, especially the blue ones, are very powerful. So I decided to stick with them for the PT, and it went well, you know.
Now you said especially the blue ones?
Yes.
Now what about you, Shaun? What was your take coming into the format?
Well, I agree mostly that I thought that this is going to be a Ravnica all over again, just tap lands everywhere, clue stones in the form of banners this time. But aggressiveness won out. You need 2 drops to sort of speed up your clock and attack into morphs, because people don't want to trade their 3-drop for a 2-drop. And one that's going to be flipped up later and be powerful.
So you were actually on a similar plan where you would prefer to be aggressive. Now, how big did your range go? Like, let's say the 5-color deck seemed to be coming to you. Would you go there?
I would say every strategy is viable, although you probably want to start out aggressive. And if maybe you get a weird signal at the beginning, you can just go into 5-color. Like, that's completely viable. You just gotta still prioritize 2-drops, 3-drops, and early guys. They can trade with the aggressive decks.
Now, what about what Stan said about blue? Did you find aggressiveness and blue went well together too?
Yeah, like Mystic of the Hidden Way was a card that I really liked. The unblockableness is just amazing. Like being able to drop that guy down and unmorph him if you want to start bashing in, or just play him on 5 mana later. Yeah, blue is pretty aggressive.
Mystic of the Hidden Way, that was a good card for you too?
I truly believe it's the best common in the set.
You think it's the best common in the set? Wow. That's a bit, there's a lot of really good commons.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think?
Debilitating Injury, I think, is pretty amazing. Like, I had 2 in my first draft and 1 in my second. That card is just incredible.
But you think that Mystic's better than Debilitating Injury? You want to be more proactive?
I don't want to say it's like better in the vacuum or whatever, but I truly believe blue is the best color and black is the worst color from my point of view.
I see.
The 3, white, red, and green are about the same, but I believe the blue is the best, and I every time pick the 3-2 guy over Injury, like every draft in the first pick.
And so when you came in to draft here, were you like, what kind of cards would you take blue cards over? Like how far would you go? I mean, we've talked about some of the good gold rares that are, you know, pretty balmy, really.
Yeah, I would pick the Mystic over Rhino or
over Siege Rhino.
Yes, or over like basically any multicolored card. Yeah, I would pick, for example, Crippling Chill over Injury.
Crippling Chill over Debilitating Injury.
Yeah, so that's my view of the set at the moment.
Yeah. Now, what about you?
I'm more open to taking the Rhino. I would slam the Rhino.
He just slams the Rhino and moves on. Now, if you were to do that, would your ideal deck be an Obzon deck that was built, you know, that could cast it consistently?
It would either be base black-green or black-white. Like, I like to start in one of the colors that gets the multicolor cards that work for 2 different
the 2
clans.
color uncommons.
Yeah. So like black, white, red, white, black, green.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of stay in those colors and then sort of splash the 3rd color for whatever clan is open.
Now, is that how you approached it as well, Stan, where if you were going to be 2 colors, you wanted to be an enemy color pair?
Yeah, it's very important because then you have choice between two guilds. Like if you, for example, blue-red, you can be either blue-red-green or blue-red-white. But if you are red-green, your only option for multi-cards are basically the blue. So you have more options in general. But obviously, if, for example, red-green is coming, there's like, it's not such a big deal that I thought at the first. Like, it's also possible to be like blue-black or red-green or red-black. But in general, yeah, I agree that the enemy scores are better.
What does the perfect deck look like for you in this format? If you could, kind of build it within reason, not all mythics or something,
Yeah.
but, what 2 colors or 3 colors, or how would you build that deck?
Like, in general, blue-green or blue-red are the best archetypes from my point of view. And you want to have like 3 2-drops, some good like evasive creatures like 2/1 flyer or the 3/2 unblockable, and like bunch of tricks like crippling chills and
Force away.
Maybe, which is slightly worse, but it's still very good. And like with red, you have the burn spells like 5 damage or like bring glow, or with green, you have so good creatures, like, for example, the 6/7 unmorph guy is like so big.
Willie locks it on is bigger than everything.
Yeah, it's so big.
Yeah.
So this kind of ideal decks, but obviously you can have like 5 color decks with 5 mythics, then it's gonna be good. But with the commons, it's the best you can build these decks.
Shaun, what do you think? If I could just set you up and just say, you know what, you're going to get to pick the colors that you want to play, and you're going to get a darn good build of it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not giving you, like all non-basics with all mythics or anything, but yeah, I can see your wheels turning there.
I think a realistic, amazing deck is the Black-White Warriors archetype. That, like, if you're the only one drafting that, you're probably going to end up with an amazing deck. It's super powerful, it's synergistic. And if no one else is drafting it, you just get all the Black-White Warriors and have a great deck.
And you get some of the chiefs on either side, and,
Yep.
and you can kind of start blasting with those. Now, Stan, I want you to talk us through your first draft deck from yesterday. What colors was it, and how did it play?
I was blue-green, splashing red for some rares and the unmorph guy, because when we are splashing, it's very good to play some good morphs, because if you are missing the color, you can still play it as 2/2 and then trade it. But if you have the proper mana, you can like turn them over and
Make it a 5/5
Yeah, make it
trample.
5/5 trample or whatever. So it's a good approach to splash the morph guys. So I was blue-green. Like, it was somehow slower than I would like it be, but it has super powerful cards, so it was okay.
So it was okay. And what about you, Shaun, for yesterday for your first draft?
Pack 1, I was in black-green. I was open. I had 2 debilitating injuries, like an Abzan guide and the Sultai common unmorpher, the 3/4 that loots.
Yeah,
and
the Abomination of Gadul.
Yeah, so I was open to going into either one in the second pack or staying mostly black-green. And then pack 2, I got past Siege Rhino. So I'm like, well, there we go. It's Siege Rhino. I'm Abzan. Next pack, Sagu Mauler. Well, I'll take that. There's not really anything. I guess I'm splashing both of these, so that's what I did. And the deck was awesome. I had a bunch of lands and was able to cast everything. So,
How highly do you have to prioritize lands when you're starting to push the envelope a little bit about the colors there?
I prioritize them very highly. Like, I'm happy to get my 23 playables and then just have all lands, the rest. Like, I first picked a land in pack 2 this last draft. I prioritized the fixing really highly.
Was it a tri-land that you first picked, or?
No,
Just a dual land?
Just a dual land. If I'm going 3 or more colors, I'll prioritize them really, really highly.
Now, what about for you, Stan? You seem to be more of a fan of the 2-color decks and keeping things consistent. Does that free up picks during the draft that you don't have to take lands for, or do you still take the lands for those potential splashes?
No, it really depends. Like, if your deck is very aggressive, you're not looking that much for the splashes because you want to have some consistency, like in playing like your early drops. But if you have like normal 2-color deck, you are looking for splashes as well, because the multicolored cards are very powerful and you are looking for them. But you obviously need to lands to fix them, because it's no way to play like 6/6/6 mana base or whatever.
Sure.
So, yeah.
What about card you'd like to open the most in the format? And you can, this is opened up to any rarity too. Just the one that you want to open up and you're just like, all right, we got there, we're doing it.
I don't know. The first thing that springs to mind is Dune Blast. That card just wins the game.
Okay. And what about for you, Stan?
Wingmate Rock.
What is it?
Wingmate Rock. The
Oh, the Wingmate Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one I can
Yeah.
get behind as well. Gentlemen, thanks for taking the time to have a little chat with us about Limited. But you've got some constructed that you guys need to finish strong here and try to maybe win your second Pro Tour each. Thanks again for Shaun McLaren, Stanislav Cifka, Marshall Sutcliffe. Send it back to the desk.
Thank you.